friends, and welcome to the Prism Stitch Knit Swoncho. I'm Marley Bird, you're my crafty bestie, and I'm excited to get you started on your adventure of making this very fun wearable. Now, as you know, we are going to use 10 different colors for this Swoncho, but today we are only going to use our main color, and we are going to start with the ribbed collar of the Swoncho. We also want to use our size 16-inch circular needles, or if you are choosing to do magic loop, I will let you decide how to do that on your own. I will not be teaching magic loop. I am going to transition from shorter length needles to longer length needles throughout the Swoncho, but I figured if you're intelligent enough to use magic loop and you're experienced with it, you don't need any more instructions from me. So what I need you to do right now is go ahead, grab your main color, grab your needles, grab a stitch marker, and make sure you have that pattern, and let's get started. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be using the Longtail cast on to get started with our Swoncho. I like the Longtail cast on because it gives a nice sturdy cast on to this ribbing, and it is something that I really prefer to begin with. If you wanted to do a cable cast on, you could do that, but I would not do a backwards E cast on. Now, for the Longtail cast on, you want to make sure you have a long enough tail to accommodate the number of stitches you plan on casting on. Put the tail yarn over your thumb and the working yarn over your finger. The slip knot goes directly onto your needle. Once these two bits are over your thumb and your finger, grab the ends of those to create some tension, and now you have a slingshot. It's at this point we're going to do the Longtail cast on. Come to the bottom of your thumb, go up your thumb, swing around to the tip of your finger, go down the finger. You have this nice little window right here that's created with the thumb. Swing your needle through the window. Let the yarn fall off your thumb and give it a tug. Reset, and here we go again. Up the thumb, down the finger, through the window, off the thumb. The Longtail cast on becomes very rhythmic. It's a very nice, easy cast on. And as long as you have left a long enough tail, you should get through all of the stitches that you need to cast on. Now, how many stitches is that? Well, if you look at your pattern, you will see there are 4 different sizes. You need to choose what size Swoncho you are making and find what the correlating cast on number is for that size. Then you will cast on that total number of stitches. All right, you just go all the way through, and our slip knot will count as a stitch. So when you're counting your stitches, you do want to count your slip knot. Go ahead and get all of your stitches cast on, and then I'll meet you at the end and show you how to join to work in the round. Once you have all of your stitches cast on, you want to double check to make sure that none of the stitches are wrapped around your needle. It's very easy to do with the Longtail cast on. Let me show you. So right here, the Longtail cast on has this really nice bottom edge, right? That's the bottom edge. And it's great to be able to put that edge on the inside of your circular needle here, and to make sure that it's not twisted around your needle just like so. That way, when you join to work in the round, you are positive that you are just working in a circle. Now, once you get all of this set up, you're going to put the needle that had the stitches that you just finished casting on the right hand needle, and the stitches that you started with over here on the left. You will place a stitch marker on your right hand needle, and you will begin with a knit stitch right here onto the left hand needle. And it's just like that. It's that easy. Now, I have gone ahead and worked my first round of knit 1, purl 1, not because I didn't want you guys to see it, but I did it and my video wasn't recording. So I am just going to show you here how you would continue on doing this. And it's the same as when you would start. You are going to transition from a knit stitch to a purl stitch all the way around. And as you go from a knit to a purl, you want to make sure that you're bringing the yarn between your needles, okay, between your needles. Purl that first stitch, bring your yarn between needles back to the back, and give it a tug. That'll tighten up that purl stitch right there and give you a nice, tidy ribbing. Knit the next, and purl the next. Knit the next, and purl the next. What this is going to do is it's going to give you a very nice column of knit stitches and a very nice column of purl stitches, which are hard to see here at the start, but I promise they are happening. One thing I want to make sure you're aware of is here at the beginning, when you get back around, this starting point might be a little bit stretched out, and that's totally okay. Give your tail a little bit of a tug and that'll tighten it up. And then when we weave this in, we will close up any sort of gap that is created there. When you're working in the round, if you've never done this before, your stitches will start to bunch up over here on your right hand needle. You just want to shift them down so they are on your cord, and then gradually shift them up the other needle so that they come up and they're ready to be knit. So as you work along, you'll be looking just like this. All right, so I'm going from knit into purl. As I'm knitting here, let me go ahead and talk to you a little bit. You will notice that I am using the smaller size of the 2 needles that I suggested in the pattern. That's because all of the one color stockinette is done with the smaller size needle. That's typically because one color stockinette will be a different gauge than stranded stockinette. So we have to change our needles to make sure that the 2 gauges match. That way when we are getting to the one color stockinette on the bottom of the Swoncho, it will match up with the 2 color stockinette in the stranded. Okay. I'm also using a 16-inch needle, as you can see. And if you are familiar with Magic Loop, as I had mentioned before, you could absolutely do that if you want to, but I do highly recommend just using the 16-inch needle. And then when all of the stitches are too snug around this needle, we will transition up to a longer needle. Okay. The last thing I want to mention here is this part of your pattern is what is going to go around your neck. It frames your face. So it's very important that the ribbing is very nice and tidy and very just beautiful. So make sure that you are tightening up that purl stitch as you work along, and you will be certain that you will have a nice column of really secure and tidy stitches. Okay. So as I've been talking to you, I've just been knitting here, and you can see I have this nice set of ribbing that's started up. Now I have gone ahead and I started another little sample. This is a little bit further along than what you are because this has the next section that you will be working on it. But you can see the ribbing on this is very nice and tidy. Okay. I have my nice column of knits. If I stretch it out, you can see my column of purls. It has some very great elasticity, which is very important. The reason we're using 1x1 ribbing instead of like a 2x2 is this one has much more elasticity than a 2x2, and it will help hold the weight of your Swoncho, and it won't overstretch. Okay, so you want to make sure that this part of your ribbing is very nice and tidy, and clearly you can see in the next section we will transition to just plain stockinette stitch, and we will be doing some German short rows, but I don't want to get too far ahead of us here. Let's go ahead and work on your ribbing, complete the ribbing to the size listed in the pattern, and then put it aside, and I'll see you in the next video where we will transition to shaping the shoulder and the back of the poncho section with German short rows. It's a lot of fun. It's super easy, and I can't wait to show you. I'm Marley Bird, your by Crafty Bestie, and I'll see you soon.